Thank you, Chair. Madam Chancellor, we see a rising tension between United States and Russia and China. Do you think that we are on the brink of a new Cold War? Should Europe try to prevent such an event? And does the European Union have the necessary strategic autonomy from the United States for that? And a second, if I may, question. You have referred to all frozen conflicts in Europe, but you've forgotten Cyprus, although it concerns an occupation by foreign troops of a sovereign EU member state. Next week, we are going to have a conference on the Cyprus issue with the participation as an observer of the European Union. What do you have to comment on that? What is your position for a viable solution of the Cyprus issue? Many thanks, Madam Chancellor, and welcome to our Assembly.
Thank you, Georgios. I will give the floor to the Chancellor. Just one small remark. Madam Chancellor, if you could address the question on the COVID passport, since we had a debate on it before.
No, I didn't mention the Cyprus conflict, but it doesn't mean to say that it doesn't need to be settled. We've got UN resolutions and of course we would stick to the United Nations framework, and I have of course talked to the Turkish President about this. Secondly, I think that we should try and be positive and not perhaps project the past into the present. So, of course, there is a conflict right now between the US and China and the US and Russia, and we can see Russia and China moving closer together, and the EU has to position itself very carefully. I can tell you I am very worried about our future global constellation, particularly when it comes to technology, because 5G, 6G, the Internet of Things, is going to be a hallmark of all our lives in future, and if we don't have common standards, particularly common security expectations, then the world is going to divide into different digital or internet silos, and the European position, or rather the German perspective in Europe, is that we have to do everything we can to nail down some common standards, because the tension certainly exists. And Europe, of course, has justified interests in cooperating with the United States of America. I mean, we are all members of NATO. We have been subject to cyber attacks as well as hybrid warfare. I mean, I know that's part of Russia's strategy. I mean, hybrid attacks are part of that, and so we shouldn't be naive. And, of course, this is likely to exercise us greatly in years to come. I, for one, am in favor of multilateralism, stronger international organizations such as the WTO and others that could frame those common standards. And I think it's then, and only then, that Europe can do its bit, making sure that the European Union stands united, and we've certainly got some work to do yet.